The Bombers win 4 in a row for the first time since late 2019. Essendon claim the first King's birthday rivalry clash and hand the Blues a 6th straight loss.
That one was awful for the supporters.
What now?
What now? I reckon I'm going to go home and have a bit of a cry.
There just seems to be no end in sight to this car crash of a season.
Carlton, shit inside 50s, shit and everything.
The damn wall has busted and there's nowhere to hide.
Disgraceful.
You know what's worse? It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
Our club, huh? Our club. The Carlton Football Club. The great unknown.
The vibe around the ground was toxic. You could feel the anguish. You could feel the despair. You could feel the anger. And you could also simultaneously feel the just complete dejection and complete withdrawal of all emotion.
Fans turning on fans. Fans turning on the club. Scarves thrown onto the ground. Memberships thrown onto the floor. Players turning on fans. Everyone turning on each other.
That was devastating, mate, as a supporter, honestly. And after that game, I said I was done.
The way they were booed off the ground last night was...
You're a disgrace! A fucking disgrace! All of you!
a telling sign.
Loss, sack him.
Sacking the coach right now isn't the answer either. Like, I think that's the last thing Carlton need is to sack another coach.
What if you know, and I'm not saying this is the case, but what if you know he's not the right person?
And you're just left wondering, what happened?
Cripps. The skipper. Strip him.
Of the captaincy?
Strip him of the captaincy.
What happened to the team?
I went to the toilet at the start of the third quarter. I came back out, checked the scoreboard. How bad could it be? We were down by 40 points. We were losing by 2 at half time.
What happened to the boys?
And I'm sorry to say, but if it means leaders traded to other teams for draft picks, you bloody do it, because I've had a gutful tonight.
What happened to our club? What is our club?
I don't know, bro. It's just, it's fucked.
When you start to think of all the negatives and how much work it's going to take, you start to go, I don't know if I can do this again. Can I do another complete rebuild where we're gutting the list again, we're getting a new coach?
And football's supposed to be the outlet, but when you're seeing your team get smashed and there's expectations and the media's piling on and opposition fans are piling on and you're putting yourself out there as a content creator, it all became too much.
I'm going to be honest, after Essendon, I had like a 2-hour phone call, existential crisis, called Pommy, and really questioned, why am I doing this channel?
Why I put so much effort into watching these guys, why so many of my emotions are tied up in a football club, why I bother doing the podcast.
Was it all worth it?
I remember calling Dan as he was walking back to the car, and he was borderline in tears on Punt Road going, what are we doing? Like, this is just a waste of time.
It was just like, guys, like, seriously, like, this is ridiculous how poorly you are all playing.
There was not one thing you could look at coming out of that game and say, well, at least that's a positive. And that was devastating. Absolutely devastating.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
I could basically just bring out last week's, find the edits, find out where I've mentioned a team name, and just re-record over that, and it'd be the same thing.
That looked like 22 blokes going out there and wanting it to end from start to finish.
Our game awareness and our skills are it's beyond below par. It's like bottom 4 level. Going inside 50 was just gross. Harry has a shot on goal, didn't make the distance. Bewildering. When it gets to your better players, you know something's really wrong.
At the moment, that's sort of hard to play good footy when everyone's just a little bit off.
You're talking Lewis Young playing 20 metres behind. Like, I'm closer to some of my fucking ex-girlfriends than he spent on Peter Wright today. You know what I mean? Like, but we're laughing, Terry, but like, fuck me, man.
We get to the 21-minute mark of the third quarter, and we had laid 3 tackles in the quarter.
What you've just seen there is a side give up. Give up. Like, and it's infectious, Terry.
Then it just gets you wondering, what's the deeper issue? What's the deeper underlying issue? Yeah. My deepest fear now with this group is that we got it so wrong from the beginning that the foundations were not set. And if the foundations were not set, then how can we expect this group to pull through? Changes are going to be made, no doubt. Have to be.
And I'm talking biblical change.
Yeah.
I'm talking biblical. I'm talking like fucking God himself reads it and he's like, fuck me, that's Old Testament shit. And let's start doing something that our forefathers did. Asking honest questions. Honest questions. Hard-hitting fucking questions.
Who looks who in the eye and goes, you weren't good enough? None of us were good enough today. So what are we going to do about it?
I was almost just like, can we just somehow press a button, fast forward to the end of the season and hope that it's better next year?
I don't think there was a pass mark at that stage. Unless they somehow made finals, it wasn't a pass mark.
We're 13 rounds into the season and it's, you know, it's not mathematically over because we can still win 8 of our next 10, whatever, all of that. But like, mate, it's done. It's done. Like it's pretty sure it's done.